قرارگاه مرکزی حضرت خاتم الانبیا در بیانیه اعلام کرد نظر به بدعهدی و پیمانشکنی آشکار آمریکا نسبت به عدم اجرای بند اول تفاهم‌نامه پایان جنگ و در واکنش به نقض بیوقفه و مستمر آتش‌بس توسط رژیم صهیونیستی در جنوب لبنان و کشتار بیرحمانه و آوارگی صدها هزار نفر از مردم مظلوم این سرزمین و همچنین با توجه به عدم عقب نشینی نیروهای اشغالگر صهیونی از اراضی جنوب لبنان اعلام می‌دارد تنگه هرمز به روی تردد شناورها بسته خواهد شد. متذکر می‌گردد این گام اول پاسخ به عهدشکنی دشمن است و در صورت ادامه تجاوز گام‌های بعدی برای پایبند کردن دشمن به اجرای تعهدات برنامه‌ریزی و اقدام خواهد شد.
Şu an TRT ekibi olarak
Iran has announced that it closed the Strait of Hormuz again, citing the ongoing Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon and what it described as bad faith by the United States in the agreement that the two countries had signed to end the war. Now, talks in Switzerland, mediated by Qatar and Pakistan, are still scheduled to take place. However, while Iran said it will still send negotiators from Tehran, expectations should be kept at a minimum until the status quo changes. At least 16 people, among them 2 children, on Saturday died in Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon. A day earlier, 4 Israeli soldiers were killed in southern Lebanon while clashing with Hezbollah militants. The death toll in Lebanon since this latest war between the two sides has crossed over 4,000 people. This latest war started when Hezbollah fired rockets towards northern Israel after the United States and Israel launched their war on Iran. Israel in turn launched a ground invasion of Lebanon and widespread airstrikes across the country. The current situation jeopardizes the US and Iranian agreement, which has briefly reopened the Strait of Hormuz and brings hope that talks over Iran's nuclear program will resume.
ببین ما این تعهد رو امضا نکردیم که اجرا نشود. این تعهد بعد از چندین هفته مذاکرات بسیار فشرده با تلاش میانجی‌ها، با حسن نیت ایران و مهمتر از همه به پشتوانه قدرت و انسجام ملی به نتیجه رسید. قاعدتاً برای اجراش ما از هر تلاشی که لازم باشه فروگذار نخواهیم کرد، اما همونطور که گفتیم تعهد در مقابل تعهد. در صورتی که طرف مقابل از ایفای تعهدات خودش سر باز بزنه، حتما متقابلا جمهوری اسلامی ایران هم تدابیر لازم رو اتخاذ خواهد کرد. این سفر در واقع یک سفری است برای مطالبه کردن ایفای تعهدات طرف مقابل. بند 13 یادداشت تفاهم خیلی روشن هست. مذاکرات برای توافق نهایی در زمانی شروع میشه که اجرای تعهدات وفق بندهای 1، 4، 5، 10 و 11 شروع بشه و اجراش ادامه پیدا بکنه. متاسفانه ما شاهد اون وضعیت نیستیم، لذا در این سفر، در این مذاکرات قرار هست ما در مورد اجرای تعهدات طرف مقابل مطالبه گری داشته باشیم و مشخص بشه که طرف مقابل به چه نحو میخواد تعهدات خودش رو اجرا بکنه. خب تعهدات خیلی روشن هست. بند 1 یادداشت تفاهم مهمترین بخش از تعهدات متقابل طرفین هست، یعنی خاتمه جنگ در همه جبهه ها از جمله در لبنان. خب ما به تعهداتمون پایبند بودیم. طرف مقابل موظف بوده که متحدینش رو مشخصا رژیم صهیونیستی رو وادار بکنه به توقف آتش در لبنان. در این زمینه شاهد هستیم که به وظایفشون عمل نکردن و این نقض صریح تفاهم آتش بس به حساب میاد.
Hello.
Looking forward to starting the technical talks with the Iranians, the Pakistanis, and the Qataris. Our understanding is that the Iranians just landed, the Qataris and Pakistanis, and some of our technical negotiators have been on the ground. So look, we'll have a couple days of talks. We'll try to get this thing kicked off in the right way. There's a lot to discuss, but we're going to go through it all.
Sir, fighting in Lebanon to threaten to upend the entire process. What do you want to do about that?
Well, Marco and the entire team have been actively managing what's going on in Lebanon. Despite the headlines, things are actually getting better there. Things have calmed down a little bit. It's going to be something we're just going to have to continuously manage to ensure that, Israel and Lebanon are both safe and secure. That's fundamentally the goal of this, is to make the whole region safe and secure. The big problem is that you have somebody will shoot and then somebody will respond, and you kind of have a chicken and egg problem where you just got to stop the scene for long enough to get the ceasefire to hold. That's what we're going to try to do. We'll keep on working at it, but things have gotten better.
Sir, what can you tell us more specifically about your schedule and what would make you successful for you?
Well, I think number one, just getting things set up in the right way and getting the actual structure of the negotiation in place. So the way that we're going to do this is that we're going to have a principal level political leadership at the top, and then obviously the technical team is going to stay on the ground. As much as I might like to stay in what appears to be a beautiful place, I can only be there for a day or two. I think we're going to hopefully make progress on the nuclear issue, make progress on the Lebanon ceasefire issue. Those are the two big things that I think we're going to be focused on. I'm sure the Iranians are going to have issues they'd like to discuss as well. We'll see you guys on the other side. Thank you.
We'll plan the talks when the principals from the Iranian government, also the Qatari and the Pakistani government arrive. That may happen as soon as tomorrow, but these things are always a little bit in flux. Jared and Steve have been on the ground now for a few hours, dealing with some of the technical elements of this negotiation. As you guys know, one of the things the president has set us out to do as a high priority is to open the straits. That's now happened. We actually got 16 million barrels of oil out of the Straits of Hormuz yesterday. That is a record going back to even before the conflict started. So you're seeing those ships move. The second thing the president has asked us to do, of course, is to get the enriched stockpile of uranium to ensure that we make it effectively impossible for the Iranians to rebuild their nuclear program, even over a very long period of time. The program is destroyed, but we're, of course, trying to take away as many of the cards where they may try to rebuild it if they don't behave under this agreement. So that's the first part of the negotiation. My understanding, talking to Jared and Steve this morning, is things are going well. But, of course, we're going to verify all of this. And that's the thing that, a lot of the criticisms of the deal have really underappreciated, is that the United States has all the cards. The straits are now open. The Iranian military is now destroyed. The Iranians have committed to, of course, destroying that stockpile of enriched material, but we have a lot of economic pressure applied to the Iranians that we would be willing to relieve if they do what we need them to do. Yeah, I expect that I will leave sometime the next couple of days, but, you know, it's always a delicate coordination dance and the diplomatic protocols. I got to be honest with you, I don't really understand these things. I've never been particularly into diplomatic protocols. My attitude is let's get on the ground and actually fix these problems. But they want to do a delicate dance. The Qataris and the Pakistanis want to make sure that we do this in the right way. So I'm trying to be respectful. Given my position of the last year and a half, I have to care about diplomatic protocols all of a sudden.
大家好，我是主播林家远。生活压力大，失眠、浅眠是现代人常见的烦恼。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌现在进一步推出晚安加强版，添加水染伽马、色氨酸、茶氨酸、香蜂草4大天然草本。选择太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌，做好日常保养，身体轻松无负担。每日克菲尔，时刻美好 ，Good Feel Good。请上快点购为健康下单，输入推荐码有额外折扣。太阳星全效克菲尔益生菌基础版、晚安加强版，新包装改版，内容不变，抽取更方便。要吃就吃最好的。